life and times of Jesus Christ. Jesus lived on this earth from 4 BC to 31 AD. He was circumcised and presented at the temple. He and his parents returned from their flight to Egypt after Herod the Great died. Later, as a youth, he was accidentally left behind at the temple. In 27 AD Jesus was baptized, then tempted by Satan in the wilderness for 40 days, and then called his first disciples. Before John is imprisoned, Jesus leads his followers to baptize others. Near the beginning of his ministry Jesus appoints 12 apostles. His first 4 apostles were fishermen, Peter and his brother Andrew, and John and his brother James. In John, Jesus' first 2 apostles were disciples of John the Baptist. In 28 AD Jesus speaks with Nicodemus. In 29 AD, 2 disciples of John the Baptist question Jesus. In 29 AD Jesus calms a storm while crossing the Sea of Galilee with his disciples. In 29 AD, in Capernaum he heals the servant of a Roman centurion of great faith by his word alone. In 29 AD, having gathered his 12, he preaches a Sermon on the Mount. Just after this he first heals a leper who says, "Lord, if thou art willing." The next morning, he debarks to exorcise 2 possessed men of Gadara. In 29 AD, in Jerusalem he heals a man upon the Sabbath who had lain by the pool of Bethesda for 38 years. This upsets the Sanhedrin, who instigate Christ's death 2 years later. In 29 AD, in Galilee Jesus heals Simon Peter's mother-in-law. In 29 AD, in Jerusalem Jesus upsets the Pharisees by healing a man with a withered hand. In 29 AD, in Jerusalem Jesus exorcises a mute demonic, causing the Pharisees to proclaim, "It is only by Beelzebub, the prince of demons, that this fellow drives out demons." Christ replies that a house divided against itself cannot stand. In 29 AD, upon leaving Capernaum 2 blind men, believing the Son of David can heal them, are healed. Despite being enjoined to silence, they spread word of this miracle. In Capernaum, while preaching in a synagogue, Jesus casts demons out of a possessed man. In 30 AD John the Baptist was imprisoned, and later that year beheaded. In 31 AD on the Friday before Passover in Bethany Jesus informs his disciples about his pending death. In 31 AD Jesus, passing through Jericho on his way to Jerusalem, encounters Zacchaeus. In 31 AD on the Sunday before Passover Jesus makes his triumphal entry into Jerusalem. In 31 AD on a Thursday during Passion Week Jesus washes the feet of his disciples prior to their Last Supper. This Passover was the 4th of Christ's ministry, the 3rd celebrated with his disciples, and the first that included all 12. Jesus offers Judas a sop. At midnight he is betrayed and tried first around 3 a.m. before the 71, and subsequently is brought before Pilate, then Herod, then back to Pilate again. Sanhedrin met formally the next morning at 5:30 a.m. to try Jesus. In 31 AD Judas, upon discovering that Christ has not freed himself as expected returns his blood money and hangs himself. In 31 AD Jesus is passed on to his first trial before civil authority Pilate. Jesus offers no defense. At a second trial Pilate offers to release Jesus, but the mob insists he release Barabbas instead. Condemned, Roman soldiers place a scarlet robe and a crown of thorns on Jesus and affect to worship him. He is then scourged and led to Calvary. Jesus dies on the cross on a Friday afternoon. In 31 AD, early on Sunday morning an angel rolls away a stone before Christ's tomb and summons him. He appears 10 times before his followers thereafter, 5 that morning, to Mary Magdalene, to the other women, to Simon Peter, to Cleopas and a companion journeying to Emmaus, and to 10 disciples in Jerusalem. Later, Jesus appears before all 11 remaining disciples in Jerusalem, to 7 by the Sea of Galilee, to more than 500 on a mountain in Galilee to James, and to 11 in Jerusalem and Bethany before his ascension. In 31 AD, 40 days after his resurrection on a Thursday near Bethany upon the Mount of Olives Jesus ascends. Closing his earthly ministry.